What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another fun-filled episode of the Scarlet Cherry Diaries. It is your girl Beverly Katie, and as you can see by the title, today we are going to be talking about the interesting guy questions to ever pop up in my DMs, my thoughts and my answers. I know it has been quite a while since I last posted a video, and actually, to say it's been quite a while is the greatest understatement of the decade. I know it's been a really long time. I've been really busy, but now I've got all the time in the world for you guys. I've missed you so much, and I'm coming back, and I'm coming back with a bang. I know I've said that quite a lot on this channel that I'm coming back with a bang, but this time I promise you. I mean it. I mean it. I'm coming back with a bang and I won't be missing in action. If you were wondering if this is my real hair, well, let me tell you something, honey. It is. It so is. Anyways, without further ado, let us get to it. Let us get into the most interesting questions, guy questions to ever pop up in my DMs. Oh, before we do that, if you hadn't already done so, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you get notified all the time, every time I release a new video. Thank you so much for subscribing and welcome to the Scarlet Cherry Diary family. Let's get into the video. Okay, my glasses are on now. Now I can read. So, my first question is, or rather, the guy question is, if you are not interested in someone, do you give them subtle hints that suggest so, or do you tell them straight up? What would girls prefer? Let me go again. If you are not interested in someone, do you give them subtle hints that suggest so, or tell them straight up? What would girls prefer? Okay, I'm going to give you my personal opinion on this. I fall under the straight up group all day, every day. I would really appreciate someone who would tell me straight up whether they're not interested in me or whatever they want to tell me. Let's say it's not even a romantic thing involved, like it's just life basically. I prefer to be told straight up, but I know why other people wouldn't want to tell other people straight up, because it usually comes off as insensitive, as rude, as like you're just a ruthless person, and people don't want to come off that way. They don't want to come off as the bad guy. But to be quite honest with you, it doesn't really necessarily mean that you're a bad guy if you tell somebody straight up. It all depends on how you tell the person. I would rather say tell the person in a nice and respectable way. There's no need for you to be ruthless. There's no need for you to be like extremely insensitive. No, just be sensitive in your words, but at least tell somebody straight up. I feel like dropping hints sometimes doesn't really get your point across because it comes off as like mixed signals or whatever, and a lot of people always have hope when hints are being dropped. And to be quite honest with you guys, some people really can't drop the hints. They are terrible at dropping these hints because, you know, some things that may really come off as horrible to you aren't horrible to the other person. You know, people are so different. If you think your aim is to bore Beverly out of her mind, and you think sending me the longest of paragraphs and like medieval quotes from William Shakespeare is the way to go, well, guess what? That's gonna make me so happy because you know what? That's not boredom to me. I like William Shakespeare. I love those long ass paragraphs that you think would bore other people. I love them. So, you know, you see, hints, somebody might not get it. And I feel like at this age, I know most of my audience is my age going up or slightly younger, but if you're in your 20s, I'm gonna be in my mid 20s soon, like exactly like mid like 25. very soon in September. I don't think you have a minute in your day to be deciphering codes or hints or whatever, or even dropping hints yourself to somebody else. I think it saves you time, energy, and it just shows how much respect you have for the other person if you just don't want to waste their time. Stop wasting people's time. Stop dropping hints in every single aspect of your life. A lot of people like this thing, the passive aggressiveness. Oh my gosh, that's so wrong. Passive aggression. Yeah, passive aggression. Like people like that a lot. If you don't want something, they think being passive aggressive is the way to go. It is not the way to go. I'm sorry. It's just wrong. If you're not happy at work, if you're not happy with the situation at work, go to the boss's office. Tell him, tell somebody, use your words. I always tell this to people that they should use their words. Don't be passive aggressive. Don't just keep quiet when somebody's talking to you. Don't just act weird. You know, there are people who just wake up and decide to act weird. Don't act weird. Don't go on your WhatsApp status and start writing paragraphs and paragraphs of how the work situation in Zimbabwe is terrible and how you might decide to kill people if you had a gun. You know what? Just go into your boss's office, sit them down, say, hey, you know what, I'm not happy with this, I'm not, or how can we like solve this situation, da, 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 da. Use your words. I feel like we are at an age where we should be acting like proper adults, especially for people who are my age. There's no need for you to be passive aggressive. It's not gonna work, especially in the industry, like in career wise. You must be one person who's able to stand for what you believe in and for whatever you're feeling. Stop Instagramming things or Facebooking things or WhatsApp statusing things, saying whatever you want to say. Just say it with your chest to somebody, to the specific person that is directed to. Be like, I don't like this, I don't like this situation, I'm not interested in this, I don't like how you treat me, da 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 da, in a respectable manner. You don't have to be insensitive about it. You don't have to start saying you're the ugliest person I've ever seen, I don't want to be in your presence. There's no need for that. There is no need for that kind of drama. And I feel like a lot of people say they hate drama, and they think hint dropping or being passive aggressive is less dramatic, and they feel like being straight up is so dramatic. But I feel like being straight up just cuts off, saves people time, saves people energy, and just cuts off unnecessary drama. I feel like the hint dropping now and what is the biggest manipulation of all time. Just stop it. It makes you look so trashy. And look at me, I'm now being straight up. It makes you look so trashy. So if you want to be mature, if you want to be the mature person, and you don't like something, you're not interested in someone, you want things to change, use your words. Be straight up, be honest, but don't be insensitive. That's the moral of the story. Now you get it. Second guy question I have is, why do good girls hurt guys the most? Why do good girls hurt guys the most? Okay, such an interesting question. All right, my take on this. I think I have to ask you first, what's your definition of a good girl? Because a lot of people like the term good, like you do not have like a really straight answer. You don't have one answer on what a good girl is, and I feel like a lot of people suffer from this. They are a victim to this. They are a victim to something that I would like to call the automatic effect. The automatic effect is thinking that something means something else. Okay, you're not getting it. Let me explain this further. They feel like being quiet means you're nice, or not being a party goer, like a frequent, a regular party goer, means that you are a decent person, you know. But that's not always the case. In most cases, it's actually quite the opposite. You might be shocked, okay? So don't assume. I think this is a lot of people's assumptions. Don't assume because somebody is something else means that they are the something that you think they are. Like, don't assume that a quiet girl is a decent woman and will respect you all the way, or that means she won't cheat on you if she's not a drinker. You know, just don't. I don't know how to put it. You know, just don't assume that. Just don't assume that because they are a certain way, they it means that they're a good person. You know, if somebody is quiet, it means that they didn't open their mouth at that particular moment. That's what it means. It doesn't mean that they're a good person. It doesn't mean that they're not gonna shout ever in their life. It doesn't mean all those things. And I think another thing when this is more in the like dating scenario, another thing, people always assume that because I've known somebody a long time doesn't mean that it means that they're not going to betray them ever in their life. It's so easy to trust somebody you've known for quite a while. Like, if you were to be given like two options to date, and you have person A and person B, and you've known person A for like 10 years, like maybe you know them from childhood, and then you've known person B for like 9 months. A lot of people would opt to date person A because they've known them from their childhood. Of course, there are pros to that situation. You've seen them, you've seen how they've grown up. You're familiar to them, okay, and then you're not really that much familiar to person B because you've just known them for 9 months, right? But it doesn't necessarily mean that person A is the best person because you've known them for 10 years. You've seen them for 10 years, but do you really know them? Have you really like sat down? Have you really been in challenging situations with them? Have you really been in happy situations with them? Do you know how they would react to ABC? Maybe you've been seeing them all this time, but you've just been seeing them and you really didn't delve deep into their life. And then you've known person B for 9 months, but maybe you guys have been hanging out, like probably hanging out, and you've shared some life stories, a few challenges that you've battled together and all that. So probably person B, who you've known for 9 months, may be the better option to date. But because we think that we've known this person for a while, actually we haven't known them. We've seen them longer, but we don't know them. You actually can see somebody for 10 years and know somebody for 9 months. And you might find out that if you've known somebody for 9 months, you know them better than the person you've seen for 10 years. There's a difference between knowing someone and seeing someone. I hope I'm making sense on that. So, a lot of good girls may hurt you the most. A lot of people, a lot of guys would say that they've been cheated on by the good girls, or the good girls um, went bad on a certain day or whatever. I think the definition of good is where the problem is. It's not that they're necessarily a good girl, they appeared to be a good girl. Maybe what you thought isn't what was. Right? Yeah. Hope I'm making sense. I don't like makeup on girls. Why are they obsessed with it? It doesn't impress us. That's question number 3. Okay, to be quite honest with you guys, girls don't wear makeup specifically for guys, they just wear makeup to look good, to enhance their facial features. It's not to change who they are, it's not to give an illusion to you guys, it's not to capture half of the male species. No, it's just for them to look good. It's a girly thing, and it's more of in touch with their inner femininity more than anything else. It's not for guys. I've heard a lot of guys say this to ladies. They'll be like, I like you better without makeup, or whatever. Sometimes they'll be lying, to be honest with you. They'll just be lying because they don't want somebody who wears makeup. They feel like it's fake, it's faux. But it's not always the case, okay? It's not always the case. And a lot of women have gone makeup free, not because they want to be makeup free, but because it's appealing to whoever they're with, okay? Uh, I feel like makeup should be worn to a certain degree. Really, you do not have to have your face beat when you're going to bed with a man or whatever. That's not appropriate, okay? It's not necessary, rather, it's not necessary. But I feel like if you are to go for events, weddings, whatever, I feel like it can be so dolled up, and do whatever makes you feel comfortable, do whatever makes you feel beautiful, okay? It's not everybody who's extremely beautiful or extremely pretty without makeup, and makeup is something to just dash your look and make you feel so fabulous. It's not really a bad thing, and it's not done for the male species specifically. Yes, there are some benefits, but it's not for the guys. It's really something that's feminine. It appeals to the femininity in us, and it makes us feel more feminine, you know? So it's just for us girls to play with, really. It's not for the guys. So it's not an obsession. Or for some people it is, but it's one of those fun things to do. It's like watching soccer for you guys, or having a beer or something, and pizza, and playing ping pong with your friends. It's more like that. But for women, it's the makeup. So don't bother yourself. It's really not that much big of a deal. I don't know. I hope I'm not sounding rude, but yeah, it's that. And now, my fourth and final question is, why do girls pressure guys to get married so much? To be quite honest, I don't know if they really do. If then someone really pressures you and asks why aren't we gonna get married or whatever. But I feel like if people have been dating for a considerable amount of time, let's say like 5, 6, 7 years, it is very much expected that, you know what, marriage is the next thing. If you aren't interested in that, it's better to tell that particular someone, so that that particular someone, if they really want to get married and they can't get that out of you, then they can move on. And I feel like it's not really about the marriage or the wedding. It's not like women love weddings so much. They do, but not like the way men would think. It's because a lot of women would want to have children in a fully functioning home. They would really want to have children with the man that they're married to, living as a family. I know a lot of people would say marriage is just a paper. What? Yeah, marriage is just a paper. They can have that without getting married, but it's not nice. It's really not nice. And to be quite honest with you, with our culture now, our parents wouldn't expect you to just uh, walk out of the house and be with somebody without that somebody appealing to the parents, approaching the parents, and asking for you and all that, which leads to marriage. So just get married, and have your children nicely. It's really not nice to be like in a hospital. To be quite honest with you, men don't think about this, but it really happens like in women's lives. Like it's not nice to be in the hospital and be like, oh, I'm Beverly Kitty, and I'm being paid for, like my services are being paid for by um Frank Dube, and my child is gonna be Jaden Dube, and I'm not a Dube. It's just so inconvenient. Like, and when people are looking for you, they're like, "We are looking for a Beverly Dube." Oh, we don't have a Beverly Dube. We have a Beverly Kitty. Um, it's confusing. Like it's really confusing having your own last name, your husband, your guy having his last name, and your child having their last name, and now you are the mother, and you're trying to take the child from school, and then they're like, your ID is written Beverly Kitty, and this is a Jaden Dube. How do we know you are the mother to Jaden? And Jaden looks very much like you, the mom, but they would never give you Jaden because you are not Beverly Dube. So, you know what? Some things are really done for, like, if we are to be a family unit, let's just do it. Do it to the fullest. There's no need for us to do it halfway. If it's what we want, it's what we want. Marriage is not scary, really. If it's just a paper, then it doesn't change anything. In as much as you would say it's just a paper, have that paper. It won't change anything if you don't have it, because if you're in it for real. So yeah, and the level of commitment as well. It's about the level of commitment as well. It's about like people knowing that that one is specifically that person's person, and we are respecting those boundaries. We need to have those clear boundaries. You really do not have to live like a bachelor if you're not a bachelor. So if you're giving up on that aspect of your life, give it up completely and just move on to the next. There's no need for you to be 50-50 in something. Be 100% feeling it. All or nothing. Black or white, no gray. So, to wrap up this fun video on these questions, number one, please, 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 let me go back. So that I recap y'all. Number one, if you are not interested in someone, please tell them straight up, but in a nice and respectable way. Not only romantically, I'm going to go all live on this as I went on it in the video. Tell somebody if there's something that you need somebody to know, tell them straight up. No need to be WhatsApp status saying. If you feel like you're being qhelwat, uyaqhelwa, awuswisisi, tshela lo muntu. Tshela lo muntu ukuthi no, mina I'm not taking this, okay? Things are supposed to go this and this way in a nice and respectable way, okay? If they're not making you feel the way they're supposed to make you feel and it's injustice to you, please may it be said. Don't go around saying, don't write those WhatsApp statuses upsetting every contact on your contact list, saying, hey, I'm gonna kill somebody, hey, I'm gonna tell that specific person, hey, when was one kapula uyangiqhela now, tell that person. Don't go around beating about the bush, because nobody's gonna be waiting for you when you're finished with your bush, okay? Hope I'm heard. The second question, why do good girls hurt guys the most? Hey bana, your definition of good now. Go deep. Some things don't mean the other thing, okay? The automatic effect. It don't mean ukuthi umuntu mayezithulele uzaba ngumfazi omuhle. It doesn't mean that. If somebody is somebody's chaste or a virgin or whatever, it doesn't mean ukuthi that person will never cheat on you, or what if they may, okay? Expect anything from anyone, all right? I'm moving on to the third question. Makeup is not for men, but makeup is for girls to feel good, hey? We want to feel good, we want to be girly, we want to be the queens that we are. Leave us. Then, fourth and final question, the marriage one. If you're supposed to be married, get married. Don't be married when you're not married. Okay? If you're being married, do it the whole way. If you're not, do it the whole way. Okay? You can't be 50-50 with people's feelings. When somebody's heart is involved, you can't play with people's emotions, can't play with people's feelings. They're not to play with. Alright? Went all off on you guys. But anyways, some things are meant to be said, and one person will be really mad at me. I'm sorry, person, but this is said with love. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you on my next one. Love you guys.